How many times have you undressed without ever truly being seen? What is more intimate, the body surrendered or the soul ignored? What if the real climax is not the orgasm, but the courage to show your wound? Know all the theories, master all the techniques, but when touching a human soul, be just another human soul. Carl Jung. We were taught to desire like consumers, to touch like conquerors, to have sex like winners. But there is something nobody ever taught us to do. Feel, truly feel. Deep down, what do you surrender when you lie down with someone? Your body, your performance, your carefully constructed masculinity? Or perhaps hidden behind the lust, what you surrender without even realizing is your silent cry. See me, choose me, love me, even if I am broken. What if I told you that sex is not just sex? That pleasure is only the visible tip of a much deeper emotional iceberg? That flesh, when touched without presence, can become a prison and not a portal? Jung said, the unconscious does not whisper, it screams, especially in intimacy. Because when a man enters a body without entering himself, everything becomes repetition. The paternal absence, the silent rejection, the childhood fear of not being enough. In this video, we are going to walk a path of no return, from lust to lucidity, from the mask to the soul. We are going to look straight at what hides beneath the armor of men who perform strength but carry the exhaustion of a lifetime spent trying to prove something. And you will understand that the true masculine desire is not sex. It is to be seen, to be recognized as human, even when humanity itself feels like a mistake. If you have the courage to continue, be ready, because this conversation is not for those who live sleeping. It is for those who, in some sleepless night, already whispered to themselves, I just wanted to be loved without having to perform.
Have you ever seen the look on a man's face right after sex? Not the one who smiles, the other one. The one who looks away, pulls back in silence, or seems too relieved as if he just escaped something he cannot even name. That was not pleasure, that was escape. Most men have no idea what they are truly searching for in intimacy. They think they want bodies. They think they want control. They think they want to prove something to her, to themselves, to the world. But what they truly want is to be chosen. Chosen without having to beg for attention, loved without having to perform, seen without having to destroy themselves first. But nobody ever taught them how to do that. From early on, the boy learned that affection had to be earned, that love came with conditions. So he grew up believing that if he did everything right, if he was good, strong, funny, desirable, he would be accepted. And when that acceptance never came, he found a shortcut: sex. Sex became code, a currency, a place to escape. The body became a stage where he tries to be enough, where he tries to forget that deep inside there is still a terrified boy, afraid of not being loved for who he is, only for what he offers. This is disguised desire. It is not lust. It is a thirst for belonging. It is ancestral longing dressed up as desire. And the worst part? He does not even notice. He believes he is in control, living life, conquering, being a man. But inside he is slowly hollowing himself out in every bed where the silence weighs heavier than the moans. Because no matter how many bodies he touches, none of them will touch what he refuses to feel. The problem is not the women. It is the wounds he carries and the way he tries to anesthetize them. With every new relationship, he projects a silent hope. Maybe now she will see who I am. Maybe now she will heal me without me having to ask. Maybe now I will feel whole. But that never happened, because he is not searching for connection. He is searching for salvation. And when she fails to save him, because no one can save another person from themselves, he grows frustrated, pulls away, turns cold, and returns to the cycle. More sex, more loneliness. Jung said, what you resist persists, and what you avoid facing ends up commanding your life. This man thinks he is in command, but it is his pain that is driving. It is the unresolved abandonment. It is the fear of not being loved that whispers in his ear every time he says, just one more time.
Sex, in this context, becomes theater, a performance where he plays the role of someone desirable, potent, confident, but inside he is begging for one simple thing: to be seen as a human being, not as a performance. And this is the cruelest part. He cannot even see himself. He does not recognize his own wounds. He does not hear his own silent cries for help. And if he cannot see himself, how can he demand that anyone else see him? This is why so many men feel empty after sex, not from guilt, but from absence, because they give themselves without being present. They spend their vital energy for a few seconds of approval, and in the end, they realize the hole inside them did not shrink, it only got darker. It is hard to admit, but what many men want is not the pleasure of being with someone, it is the relief of not having to deal with themselves for a few minutes. Sex becomes anesthesia, and like all anesthesia, it has a cost. The cost is disconnection, the loss of meaning, the repetition of the same mistakes, the same types of relationships, the same pain wearing different names. And behind all of this, the desire remains, but not the sexual one, the other desire. The desire to be touched where no one has ever reached. The desire to be held in the place where he was always ignored. The desire to be accepted with everything, the strength and the fear, the desire and the trauma, the man and the boy. But for that to happen, he must look at himself without masks, without excuses, without the shield of, "That's just how I am." The true desire of men is not sex, it is reunion, a reunion with their own sensitivity, with their own tenderness, with the forgotten part of themselves that still believes being vulnerable means being weak. And until that happens, he will keep desperately trying to conquer on the outside what he lost on the inside. But you only conquer what is outside when you make peace with what is within.
Carl Jung did not see desire as an isolated instinct. For him, the intimate act was a sacred, dangerous, and revealing territory. There, in the touch, the sweat, the silence between bodies, something happened that was not always visible. The manifestation of the psyche. Sex is not just biology, it is pure symbolism. Jung believed that every intimate encounter was also an encounter between unconscious minds. It is not just body entering body, it is shadow touching shadow. It is pain communicating with pain. It is what is hidden trying to show itself, even when disguised as pleasure. And the shadow, it never knocks before entering. It invades. The shadow is everything a man hides from himself. The fear of not being enough, the rage suppressed for years, the guilt, the trauma, the rejection, what he pretended to forget, but the body remembers. And the body, that silent oracle, surrenders everything. It surrenders in the way he touches, in the way he kisses, in the urgency, the absence, the disconnection. The symptom is right there. The shadow appears when he needs to dominate, impress, prove, when he simply cannot be present, when connection frightens him more than solitude. And the most tragic part, he does not know this. He believes he is in control, when in truth he is being guided by forces he does not understand, because the unconscious does not disappear just because it was ignored. It infiltrates, especially in the moment when the flesh opens up. In intimacy, the mask of the strong man begins to crack, and what surfaces there is not the mature man. It is the wounded boy, frightened, wanting to hide inside his own body. Have you ever noticed how some men disconnect right after sex? They pull away, disappear, turn cold. That is not disinterest, that is fear. Fear of what they felt for a few seconds. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear of being seen without their armor. Because sex, when it is real, strips away the defenses, and that is more terrifying than any rejection. The body becomes a mirror that reflects exactly what he tried to hide, the emotional exhaustion, the hunger for affection, the absence of belonging. Jung said that the most important encounters were arranged by souls before the bodies ever met. But the problem is that most of the time the souls are wounded and the bodies are in a hurry.
So what should be ritual becomes repetition. What should be sacred becomes routine. And in this cycle, the man becomes contaminated, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. Because when he gives himself to a woman who is not present, who also carries her own open shadows, what happens is not pleasure, it is an exchange of wounds. What was meant to be lightness becomes weight. What was meant to be connection becomes exhaustion. And then he starts asking, why am I tired? Why do I feel empty afterward? Why, even after pleasure, does it feel like I lost something? The answer is simple and brutal. He did lose. He lost energy, clarity, parts of himself surrendered without awareness. Because every time you unite with someone in the body, you also open in the soul. And if the other person is in chaos, that chaos enters you. This is not mysticism, it is psyche, it is emotional field, it is the deep symbolism of human intimacy. Jung spoke of this when he talked about the anima and animus, the unconscious feminine and masculine aspects within us. When a man touches a woman, he is also touching his own anima. And if that anima is wounded, hidden, rejected, the touch becomes a mirror, and the mirror becomes a confrontation. This is why sex disconnects some men from reality, not because it is intense, but because it is too revealing. It reveals everything he is not ready to see. The body screams truths the mind refuses to hear. It screams, you are exhausted from pretending. It screams, you do not want pleasure, you want rest. It screams, you want to be whole, but you keep fragmenting yourself. The shadow, when ignored, takes the wheel, and it does not drive with care. It collides, destroys, repeats. But when the shadow is faced, it teaches. Sex can be a battlefield, but it can also be an altar. It depends on how willing you are to face what you carry inside, because it is not just about who is in your bed, it is about who you are when the bed is empty. And if you do not have the courage to see yourself in the mirror of flesh, you will keep projecting your wounds onto people who are not responsible for your absences. The body speaks, the soul screams, the shadow appears. The question is, are you listening? Throughout his entire life, he was told that being a man meant knowing how to act, being efficient, being precise, being irresistible. Nobody taught him how to simply be. From his first desires, he learned he was supposed to dominate. At school, they laughed at him if he was sensitive. At home, there was no space to cry. On the street, virility was the currency of acceptance. And so he was shaped, not to feel, but to perform. He learned that giving pleasure was a technique, as if the female body were a mechanical puzzle to be solved, as if the right touch in the right place at the right time were all that mattered. But nobody told him that pleasure without presence is just an echo, a hollow noise that dissolves seconds after the orgasm. He collected conquests, memorized positions, rehearsed reactions, but had no idea how to connect, because presence demands something frightening, vulnerability, and he was trained to hide it. The performative masculinity is a stage of well-rehearsed lies, and the man is often both the actor and the prisoner of his own performance. He laughs and shows off when he is insecure. He raises his voice when he is begging for silence. And when the moment of intimacy arrives, he does not know how to undress emotionally. So he clings to what he learned: impress. He focuses on being good in bed, but he does not realize that what truly moves a woman is raw, imperfect, honest surrender. It is the look that says, I am here, whole, even with my flaws. It is the touch that does not seek approval, but connection. And when this man, for 1 second, feels something real, he panics, pulls back, sabotages, disappears. Because presence comes at a high price, the fall of the armor, and the fear of being weak, even if only on the inside, paralyzes him. It is easier to pretend self-sufficiency than to admit that he too is afraid of not being loved. But the truth is, everybody can feel it. The woman feels when he is not there. Even if the touch is perfect, even if the rhythm is right, even if the movements are flawless, something is missing. The soul is missing. And the soul cannot be faked. Presence cannot be forced. It can only be allowed. For this, the man needs to leave his head and enter his body, not as a machine, but as a temple. He needs to listen to what his breath is saying, what the silence is screaming, what the heart is hiding, because there, in that wordless space, is where true surrender begins. It is not about knowing how to do, it is about knowing how to feel, and feeling requires courage. Most men have not yet understood that being vulnerable in intimacy is not weakness, it is being real, it is being whole, it is being human. Jung spoke of the anima as the feminine side within man, sensitive, intuitive, empathetic, but it is repressed from early on, mocked, crushed, silenced. So the man grows up emotionally amputated and tries to fill that void with performance. But performance without a soul is noise. It is exhaustion. It is frustration disguised as victory. How many men leave an encounter saying they crushed it, but inside feel an emptiness they cannot even name, because there was no exchange, only exhibition, no encounter, only spectacle. And the cruelest part, he doesn't even notice, because he is so used to pretending that he has forgotten what it feels like to simply allow himself. But at some point, everything collapses. The technique fails, the desire empties, the pleasure becomes weight, and he realizes, perhaps for the first time, that he was never truly present in his own intimate life. He never really touched, he only passed over. He never really surrendered, he only performed. And it is in that silent collapse that something can be born, something he has never felt before. The desire to be truthful, to touch without rushing, to look without fleeing, to stay even when it is terrifying. Because true masculinity does not shout, it holds. It does not need to prove anything, it simply is. The man who understands this begins to rebuild himself piece by piece, scar by scar. And when he truly surrenders, he does not offer only his body. He offers what is rarest today: raw presence, honest, profoundly human.
There is a silent and almost imperceptible moment when everything changes. It may come right after the orgasm, or perhaps in that pause between caresses. It is an instant, a lost glance, a different breath, a sensation that floods the chest as if something has been torn away. It is there that the body begins to warn. You gave yourself again without choosing yourself. Sex, when it is unconscious, is not pleasure, it is drainage. You think you are connecting, but you are dissolving. You think you are growing stronger, but you are fragmenting. You leave emptier than you arrived, more confused, more disconnected. Because when you lie down with someone who is not whole, you do not rise the same. The body carries stories, traumas, shadows, and every intimate exchange is also an energetic exchange. You do not just have sex with the other person's body, you merge with everything they carry, what they lived with others, the emotional pacts they hold, the unresolved demons. All of that enters you. Not because you believe it or not, but because the soul knows, the body feels, the unconscious absorbs. Jung said that everything we do not confront within ourselves, we will meet as fate. And unconscious intimacy is one of the most subtle and dangerous ways to repeat that fate. How many times have you left an intimate encounter feeling a tiredness that was not physical, an apathy that did not come from the body, a mental confusion that made no sense? That is emotional contamination. It is your vital energy being drained by connections that do not respect your soul. And the cruelest part?
You think everything is fine, that it was just sex, that everyone does this. But deep inside, you feel it. Even in silence, something in you begs for more truth, more depth, more real connection. The body is a temple, and you, perhaps without realizing it, are turning that temple into invaded ground. Every intimate act is an invocation. It either opens portals of healing or summons old ghosts. It depends on your presence. It depends on your choice. Most men never learned this. They were trained to see sex as conquest, entertainment, distraction. But the truth is that every time you surrender out of neediness, you are paying with your own soul. Intimacy is a mirror, and if you are emotionally blind, you will not see the reflection. You will only see the body. You will mistake pleasure for connection. You will call anesthesia love, and you will keep giving yourself to someone who has no room even for herself. You do not need to close yourself off to love, but you need to open your eyes before you open your body. You need discernment, presence, awareness, because not every woman deserves your touch. Not every energy is worthy of your temple. Sex is not entertainment, it is ritual, and rituals require preparation. They demand intention. If you enter this field without being awake, you will get lost. You will become contaminated. You will drift further from yourself. But when you choose presence, when you understand that your body is not a tool of escape, but a portal of truth, everything changes. Sex becomes healing. Touch becomes prayer. Pleasure becomes transcendence. And the woman beside you does not become an emotional crutch. She becomes a mirror of a truth you already recognize within yourself. Because the awakened man does not surrender his body out of need. He surrenders when the soul is ready, and only surrenders completely. There are those who know how to receive without destroying. That choice is in your hands at every new encounter, with every new gaze. You can keep sinking into the abyss of repetition, or you can transform sex into a ritual of reconstruction. But for that, you must choose yourself first. You must love yourself enough not to give yourself to just any body. You must respect yourself enough not to beg for validation. And when that happens, when you honor your own energy, you do not lose yourself in the other. You find yourself within. And then, for the first time, pleasure does not empty you, it expands you.
What you witnessed here was not about sex. It was about everything you tried to silence when you undressed for someone who did not know how to read your soul. It was about the boy who grew up trying to prove his worth through performance, about the man who today finds himself exhausted, repeating the same cycles, carrying a body that is desired, but a soul that is ignored. You are not broken. You are full of parts of yourself, waiting to be rescued from the war zone that turned your sensitivity into a battlefield. Jung said that the encounter with one's own shadow is the most difficult initiation of all, and perhaps you are standing exactly at that threshold between continuing to pretend or finally choosing lucidity. This is not about stopping to desire. Desire is human. It is about learning to desire with awareness, with wholeness, with presence. Because when you begin to choose yourself, the world stops swallowing you, and intimacy ceases to be a battlefield. It becomes an altar. But this cannot be learned from the outside in. It is an internal and silent process, like a whisper in the early hours of the morning that finally makes sense. This script was born on a night when I found myself staring at the ceiling after what seemed like a good encounter. Nothing went wrong, but something inside me was screaming. I realized that once again I had given myself without being present. My body was there, but my soul was begging to come back. And I thought, how many men are living this right now, in silence? It was for them, for us, that this video was made.
because sometimes all we need is for someone to say, "I understand you," and you are not alone in this painful lucidity. If something here touched you, even something small, thank you for staying until the end. You chose to listen, and that alone places you on a path that very few have the courage to walk. If this video moved something in you, subscribe to the channel. More conversations like this one are coming for the men who are ready to wake up, not from the world, but from themselves.